Hello, welcome. We are here to do my 2024 MVP picks. They are not necessarily my best of. Important distinction, especially in the arena of books. Sometimes you can read an incredibly well-written, important work of literature, love it, but just kind of like struggle to get through it, you know. But you can absolutely devour, just like eat up something that is not good whatsoever. And those can be your most valuable players, you know. Sometimes that is just the most important person on the team. So I guess let's start out with the assorted category. Why not? So, Wikipedia. Do use Wikipedia in Spanish all the time. Like I use Wikipedia in English all the time. I also donate to Wikipedia. It's very important to have this like open source ad-free information sharing. It's wonderful. I feel very passionately about Wikipedia. So yeah, anyway, but I specifically have used it a lot in Spanish to read about things in Spanish, to learn about Spain, you know, moving to Spain. And then you can also, it's also kind of like an informal translator, because if you have an article that is titled something and you just use the little translate symbol to switch the language of the article, now you know what that phenomenon is specifically known as in that other language. If they named the Wikipedia article that's what they call it. So yeah, can't say enough good things about Wikipedia. There is also a kids version, like simplified Wikipedia or something like that. I also do have an entire packet of resources in Spanish available, so that will be linked as well. There's a lot of things like that in there. Then next up we have SpanishDictionary.com. This is like, obviously this is extremely well known for anyone learning Spanish, but I kind of like initially used it all the time, then I kind of fell off of it. But as I've been trying to improve my grammar and my writing and everything, the conjugator on Spanish Dictionary has just been invaluable. I also do like the examples, again, not quite as good as Reverso Context, but to have it just all available in the same app or website. You can make flashcards if you want to do that. There are the lessons. I haven't been doing a lot of those this past year, but it just really is such a good, like all-in-one, reliable resource. I do use monolingual dictionaries also. I use them both. An app that also will come up in these books, Storytel. I have talked about them a lot before. This is not sponsored, not affiliated. I wish I was an affiliate because I love Storytel. So I have the Mexico subscription. There are many different countries and each of them has a slightly different catalog. So you can browse that to see which one would work best for you. But I pay about $5 a month. I think it's $60 a year for this subscription. It is unlimited audiobook listening and also some ebooks. I read 23 books from it last year, so that works out to about $2.50 per book. And I could have done more, actually. I do hope to use it more this year, but that's still a lot. Still like 2 books a month. Highly recommend Storytel. So I guess we're moving on to books now. So again, some of these are like books that I actually genuinely think are amazing books. And then other ones, again, are just those books that like filled a need in my life at that moment. So first up we have Mexicoland, which is a YA dystopian version of Mexico, not like impossible seeming, but with even more, you know, inequality, even more exploitation, that kind of thing. I don't know how to explain it. It's like almost a little bit surrealist. Like he has a very like quirky sense of writing. So it is a very heavy subject, also, obviously, and there's things that happen that would be kind of surprising to have in YA. I guess not really, considering that like The Hunger Games is YA. There was one voice that the voice actor doing the audiobook did that I hated so much that I almost switched to the regular book, but thankfully that character did not last super long in the book. So as soon as that character was gone, I just like could not stop listening to this book. Then we have Un lugar soleado para gente sombría. This is one of the books that I actually think is great. So this is a short story collection from one of my favorite short story authors, one of my favorite authors of all time, Mariana Enriquez. And she writes kind of social commentary horror. So writing about the experience in Argentina, in the majority, I think, Buenos Aires, and just all kinds of different social topics woven into all of these. Really, really enjoy her works, and this is a book that is on my priority list to reread this year. Then we have La Cría by Pablo Rivero, I think. This was another one that I was just like zoned in, like just fixated on while I was listening to it. I think I listened to it in like 2 days maybe. And this is about a child influencer, like internet celebrity in Spain who goes missing. He's very young, I think like 4 or something. So he goes missing and you're following the detectives who are trying to figure out this case along with the mother and other people in the child's life. So lots of interesting commentary about, obviously, online culture, about child influencers, about all of that kind of stuff, child celebrities in general even. I wasn't completely sold on all of the aspects of how the author handled it, but again, MVP, I was like honed in, just like listening. I had to know what was gonna happen. And then, so these two happened at a time when I was very, very like burnt out, kind of in a slump. I was not being able to really listen to anything. So I went right from La Cría, which worked really well, to Verity by Colleen Hoover. So this is a very, very popular author in general. This is her kind of thriller book. So this is the story of a woman who is a writer, and she is kind of on the brink of complete failure. And she gets the opportunity to work on this really famous writer's books. She's been in like a really serious accident or something like that. And so one thing leads to another. This woman ends up living at this other woman's house with her husband and child, while the woman is living like upstairs discapacitated. There are definitely super varying opinions on the quality of this author's writing. I've never read anything that she wrote in English. Nonetheless, again, I just devoured this, like just listened to it so obsessively until I was done with it. And yeah, for that purpose, it worked incredibly well for me. Then we have Front Desk, which was one of the books for my Patreon book club in the multilingual book club. This was originally written in English, but I read it in Spanish, and this was so endearing. So we're following a young girl who is Chinese American. So she has come to the US with her parents, and they are trying to make it happen, make it work in the US. And this is set in like the 80s maybe, or 90s. They end up working in a motel, and they're being very, very exploited by the owner of the motel, but nonetheless they get this incredible community around them of various people from various backgrounds. So sad, but so sweet and so endearing at the same time, and I really, really enjoyed it. Then we have Jane Eyre. So I actually listened to this book twice in 2024, once in the spring, once in the fall, and there's a specific edition of this book, audiobook on Storytel, read by an actor from Mexico, and I just love this audiobook. Like, I have listened to it, I think like 5 times at this point, and I do not anticipate stopping anytime soon. I love Jane Eyre in general, and then just this specific rendition has just become such a comfort listen to me. Jane Eyre is one of my favorite books of all time. It is a gothic classic. Mostly I'm just obsessed with the character of Jane Eyre and the kind of commentary that can be had on like what Charlotte Bronte knew she was doing with the social commentary in this book and what she did not know she was doing with the social commentary. Anyway, I've rambled way too long, but I love that book. Podcasts. Obviously, no one is going to be surprised to hear Radio Ambulante. It is like a mainstay of my Spanish learning adventures. I have always loved this podcast. I definitely do go in phases where I will listen to a bunch of it all, in a couple months, and then I will take a little break for a couple months. But I did really, really enjoy continuing to listen to the backlist of this podcast, and I will continue to do so. If you're not familiar, it is a long form journalistic type human interest story podcast where they tell the stories of Latin America. So all kinds of different stories. They can be personal, political, odd, weird things that happened, or cultural phenomena, all kinds of different things. Then this one is gonna be more of a 2025 thing because I only rediscovered it literally in the last days of 2024. But it did help me end the year out strong, so I do have to include it, and that is the No hay negros en el Tibet podcast. So I listened to 10 hours of this podcast in the 40 hours in 7 days language challenge that I did, which really turned out to be 40 hours in 9 days. But I just got obsessed with this podcast at the end of the year, and I still am. That is still continuing. This is the perennial warning that if you are listening to this podcast in an English-speaking country, the opening jingle does have the N-word in it, so be cautious of playing that. Movies and shows. To be honest, I don't have any MVPs for movies or shows because I really did not get just absolutely obsessed with any, but there were 2 movies that I watched in 2024 that I did really, really like, and they were La Llorona, which is about the kind of after effects of a genocide carried out in Guatemala on the family and the general who kind of authorized this. So they are sort of being haunted by force, maybe from the indigenous people who were murdered. Obviously, super dark movie, but I did really, really like it. Then also the movie 20,000 Species of Bees. This is such a good movie. It is telling the story of a young trans girl in Spain, specifically in Basque country, who is kind of discovering her identity and trying to communicate that to her parents. Very beautiful, very good movie. It is a lot in Basque as well. Very, very good movie. Then Instagram. I mean, how can you have an MVP without Instagram? Truly, the MVP is just memes on Instagram, but one of my favorite meme accounts is a cat meme account called Michis_Chilean. Just so worth it. Just so good. Then for videos, Tatyana.Trujillo is a Puerto Rican content creator who makes skits, funny monologue, funny skit things, but I also am obsessed with her accent, so I always watch her videos when they come up. And another one is sandramoruizz, I don't know, but she is kind of local to where I am now. She's in the same region, and so it was a very good practice with the Andalusian accent. She does have the Thetheo accent, and she makes a lot of really, really interesting videos about kind of history and culture, specifically often of Andalusia, but also other places in Spain, Spanish speaking, whatever. Definitely those accounts, and then the YouTube channels that I'm going to talk about are ones that if I see a video from them, I'm gonna watch it. I watch tons of things all the time, but even accounts that I really, really like, sometimes if I see a video, I'm not always necessarily going to click on it right then, but kind of my MVP criteria is that if I see a video and I have time to watch it, I'm probably just going to click on it and watch it. So those YouTube accounts are Pame FD, which is an Argentinian booktuber. She just makes really fun videos to watch. We don't have that similar of book tastes, but that's not really how I pick booktubers necessarily. But she's just a really upbeat, fun, interesting person to watch and talks about romance books, fantasy, a little bit of thriller as well. She does have other channels as well, but I don't watch those as much. Then another booktuber is Alessandra López. This is a pretty small account, relatively speaking, and I just find her reading vlogs so chill, like just so relaxing, so calm, and just really, really enjoyable to watch. And then the final YouTuber is Balu. So I just love their videos so much. So they make all kinds of different videos surrounding media. So like, I read this thing so you don't have to, I watched this thing so you don't have to, all kinds of different like commentary. Their video quality, like how they edit and everything, is crazy good, and they are just hilarious. So yeah, I think that is everything that I have for this list. If you have any that you would like to share, definitely leave them below. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.